Okay, we're running ACAL on DC. Okay, going to look at the app node here on the 3458A 18A. So measure drift. And there's the formula for measuring drift. So what I did here on mine is I went through, supposed to do it over a week, but mine's so screwed up that you can do it just over a few days. Here's June 1st, 2024, 9 in the morning. This is what you do. Put it in full menu mode, Cal question mark, Cal 72. You read the value. And then here it is on the 4th, 8:25 a.m. Here's the second value. So every time you do an ACAL, the number in this register is going to change. So I've got two numbers here. I subtracted them off. Got 108 ppm when you multiply by 1,000,000. And here's the drift. You got 108 ppm over 71 hours is 1.5 ppm per hour, which is terrible. And then in days, it's about 37 ppm per day. So that's the A3 board bean bag. In the full equation here, they have, in the denominator here, you have A, which is this value. And since I'm a slide rule guy, that's pretty much close enough to 1. So that's a 1, that's the number of days or hours, and it's just the difference between the two. So what it does, it ratios to the Zener voltage, and every time you do an ACAL, this number will change. So on mine, I'm pretty sure that the reference module inside here, LTZ 1000, is correct, because in the test I just did another one here, after you do an ACAL, it reads pretty much within a few parts per million of 10 volts. So I could still use a unit. You just got to do an ACAL, because you got a drift here of 1.5 parts per million per hour. So if you want to measure the drift of something else, the unit's kind of useless unless you want to do an ACAL all the time. And that's because the A3 DAC board is goofed up. And I don't know if that's me or somebody else, but he's not happy. The manual cranks in there? Right. For the Those are the bank up cranks for the landing gear, 132 turns. Lower the gear and lock them. Huh? Boxes here. When I was in California at the ham radio swap meet, they were junking these things out, and you can tell that they're for aviation because they're real light. If it were Navy, they could be heavy as can be. Right. But it's just, they were just junk, like junk computers. That was about in the mid 80s. They had a bunch. Look at that receiver there.
Defend yourself against spiders in this big.
There's the fire extinguisher, John Manzo. A BC346H radio receiver. Transmitter tuning units.
It's
Yeah, the ball turret.
The ball turret, yeah.
I think they got a little short guy in there.
God, I would guess. I mean, how?
And sometimes it gets jammed and say he's toast or something like that. I don't know what the deal. It opens up and you climb in and close,
Right.
and so you're enclosed in this thing.
Well, I
See,
just think crash landing. You want to be out of that.
yeah, see the big gear around
Right,
here?
it's
That's what
rotated.
rotate around.
Right. That is get a little bit claustrophobic in there.
I'm sure they screened the guys. And I guess that's the deal that rotates it around on this pivot.
Yeah, it's hydraulic. It's big. Yeah, it's a hydraulic. This is filled with oil, and you got a pump.
I think that's the oxygen for.
That's oxygen.
Yeah, the yellow's oxygen.
Oh, okay.
It's that
So
because
this
there's.
is an oxygen. Okay.
Yeah, because they go over so many thousand feet, they want to have oxygen,
Right. I thought.
and so.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, that makes sense.
But I think the motors are on here.
Is it electric motors?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess.
See, a lot of it is hydraulics, but maybe not.
But yeah, the oxygens are
Okay,
the
that's
yellow
oxygen. Okay.
yellow deals.
Definitely two. I gotta get a picture of that.
You see these machine guns here? I want to say on the earlier one of the first versions, they had them side by side, and then the guys would bump into each other. And I think they staggered them later
Yeah,
on.
makes sense. These are all 50 calibers.
Yeah. Also, you get so many shells, you end up being all over the place.
Right, well, that's true. It's gotta be oxygen too.
Yeah, regulator assembly. Oh, it's got to be a hell of a thing firing that shit.
Yeah, say the greatest generation. Yeah, getting my hands on it.
See, here's the oxygen flow indicator,
Yeah.
cylinder pressure, demand regulator. Do not move this clutch to out position, elevation landing clutch. Yeah, what runs this around? I guess it's that guy
Yeah,
right
this,
there.
this looks like some type of an actuator. In this case, you said it's.
It could be electric. I don't see any hydraulic lines. If it's 28 volts electric, it runs it around. A lot of,
Maybe like you said, that's a little encapsulated motor.
yeah.
Electric motor.
And when they have the motors, they got to change. They have different brushes for high altitudes because the brushes tend to get eaten up
Yep.
for